Okay, so we're back working on the Integra right now. I have the oil draining. I forgot to record for that, but it was nothing special. So now we are going to be disconnecting hoses, wires, anything that'll prevent us from actually pulling the motor. The only thing we will not be removing are the motor mounts yet, because I don't know whenever I'll be able to actually pull the motor. So maybe we'll have the motor out in this video, maybe we won't. But I still don't know how to go about this because it's not that much different from a D series from the look of it. So I think I'll just have to unbolt the exhaust, disconnect all the hoses, the wires, and then get the motor mounts. And I should be good other than that. I don't know what to do with this because I know that if you release the gases in it, it's illegal. I'm not sure all about that, so I have to do more research before I disconnect this all. And then I have to pull the motor and put it in the trunk of my Civic over there, or even put it in the trunk of this for just a little bit. But the ground is so soft over here, it's a little difficult to work. And all of the fresh oil I just put in it mixed with the coolant that was in the engine because of the head gasket that was bad. So I cannot save the oil anymore, which I thought I could, but I can't. So I'll just drain all the fluids and that'll make it easier to pull. Get rid of things like the air box and stuff that's in the way of any bolts or wiring. And then once we get all of that, I'll pull the rest of the harness out. The fuse box I'll pull out. I don't know if I need the fuse box. I don't think I do. So, but stuff like cruise control I'm not taking. I don't need that. I drive perfectly fine without it. I know I will need a clutch. There's not much I can reuse off of this car because it is an automatic, but I can reuse the engine and the axles. And I'm not reusing this head. It's pretty damaged up in some spots like here, which I don't even know if that would affect the performance or anything, but I'm not going to chance it, and I'm just going to throw a C1 head on here or a B18c head. Anything that's got VTEC on it. Change the valve cover because I don't really like the look of these valve covers. And then just take the rest of the harness out and see what I can salvage. And if I don't have a buyer for it, I'll just take it to a scrap yard after I take off the parts that are straight. So like this fender, which I didn't even realize, but it's got rust on it, so that fender's not good. I mean, I didn't even notice it's got rust here. So it's just got a lot of rust. It's got paint drips, which these are all things I didn't notice till just now. The paint's cracking back here, which is leading to some rust. I don't know, the previous owner did not paint it good, regardless of what anyone says. It is a crappy paint job, but I know that these rear quarters are in good condition. They don't seem rusted to me. They just have a little bit of dents, a couple dents in it. I know there's a dent over here and there's a dent right here. But other than that, I could probably cut the quarters out and sell those as a whole, or just cut the car up and sell it in pieces. I'm not sure which. I knew the rust right here was bad, but I'll probably have to hit that out and probably fill it before I sand it or before I sell it, so then that quarter will be okay. I'm not trying to scam anyone. I'm just gonna knock out all of the rust, spray some rust reformer, then some protectants in there, and sand it and fill it, because that's not too bad right there. And I'll be taking the wheels off, but let's get to pulling the engine. Off topic, and the camera died while I was working on the Integra, but I started to sand this down so I can get this to a mere polish, and there's no real reason why I did it, but I thought it would look pretty cool. So I'm gonna finish getting this prepped, and then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do, because my car is eating coolant and leaking oil. Two things you don't want. I know that it's leaking oil from right here, but it's not leaking a major amount. It's only leaking a little bit, but still, you don't want that there. And then from the looks of it, it looks like it's also leaking from the distributor O-ring, so that'll need replaced as well. Bad trip.
Memento.
Finally, after some trial and error, I got both axles out of the car, so the engine is almost ready to be pulled, and I think all I have to do next is disconnect the exhaust, disconnect the throttle body cable, and then the motor mounts, and it should be loose and ready to pull out. But we sacrificed the axles because they were seized and would not come out, so I'll have to go get some new axles, and then almost officially I might be buying this car. So instead of me asking for parts off of it, I think I'm just gonna buy the car in general and then clean it up, throw a new headlight on it, definitely, air out the tires, peel off all of the faded clear coat, and then cut, buff, and sand it. And then once I do that, I'm going to sell it. Probably gonna sell it for the same price range as I did my old black Civic. I bought it for around $1,200 and sold it for $2,700 after I fixed the fender and the front bumper and the door. So then you can make a lot of profit with these cars, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. Just fix it and hopefully make a lot of profit. I gotta bend this back so it doesn't look suspicious. Then I gotta figure out how to do some body work to fix that, which that shouldn't be hard. I'm more concerned about this because right there is where the support under the hood is. And then, but this stuff I should just be able to knock down. I should be able to knock that down, and it all should line up. Then take a hammer or a tractor and push the crash bar back down and give everything a good cut and buff. Clean up the interior, and I'm not sure exactly what all mechanically is wrong with this car, but I know that it needs an oil pump. Other than the oil pump, I'm not. It looks like some of this stuff might need messed with because it looks like I'm missing a belt. But after I get all of that, clean this up, clean up the engine bay, paint the valve cover, which actually I think I'm going to keep this valve cover and then just throw on the white one I have all the way over here, which I threw it because I was kind of mad, but repaint that bad boy and throw that on there. It should fit pretty nice. And then I'll be able to sell that for quite a bit. But then after all of that and I get this pulled, I'm going to try selling it. If not, I'm going to take it to the scrapyard and sell it, or like not sell it, but give it to them for like $300. I'm not really expecting much out of the Integra shell, but if I can keep the interior and then clean it all, I should be able to make some money off that, which I'm not sure, but the carpet looks like it's either black or dark gray. So I'm gonna also put that in my Civic because they should line up almost exact. But other than that, I'm done for the night, and I'll catch you guys whenever I'm working on it again, which will be short for you. Okay, since we got the axles and everything out, now we got to disconnect the motor mounts and the exhaust, and in theory it should just lift up, and then I have the rebuild kit coming in, so let's get to working. Okay guys, so another day, still working on the car. This is our deadline. Our deadline is tomorrow at 12 o'clock. What we have to do is pull the engine. All I got is motor mounts now, so which this motor mount is almost already out, which it's not hard to take the motor mounts out. So take the motor mounts out, take off the trim that I might need from the exterior, which I'm not sure. It doesn't have these in it, so, but I have those if I want it. But right now I'm in the middle of taking everything out of the interior that I want or that is of a value. Like the door panels, I'm gonna see how I can integrate those into my Civic over there, which you can't even see. But I'm gonna keep going away at this, and I'm not gonna bore you guys with the video. The next part of this will show the car completely, not completely gutted, but I should have the steering wheel off and switched out with mine. And then I should have the engine pulled. But I'm gonna keep pecking away at this, and I'll see you guys whenever I'm about to sell it. Okay, so just a little bit until we have to get rid of the car. Just a couple hours. Way colder outside than I thought it was gonna be. Hopefully it gets a little bit warmer. But we got the door panels off, which I want to try fabricating those up into my Honda Civic. Don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I want to try. I gotta disconnect the motor mounts and the engine should be ready to go.